Hi everyone, welcome to the live stream. Today I'm going to be doing some tactics and so let's get started. As you can see, this is chesstempo.com. This is the name of the website, as you can see here. And yeah, let's just start and do tactics. Chess Tempo, of course, also has this feature of you can play chess also now. I mean, I think earlier it was just for tactics, but now I think Chess Tempo has started this feature of and restart the stream. Okay, hello. Yeah, there were some issues here, some electricity issues, but anyway, I think the stream is back online. So yeah, there were some electricity issues, and the stream was disrupted just a little bit. So now I guess the stream is back on. So sorry about that, but yeah, let's get started. Let's change the set. See if we can, I mean, yeah, let's continue. Our last session we had 121 correct and 60 wrong. So let us try and improve on that. I think the previous session was pretty good. So yeah, let us, you know, get this started now. So here we are white and um, well, this looks like okay. Obviously, we have to try and stop this pawn from going forward, and the only square available is I think d1 looks like the solution. Now we can do that and stop the pawn. So yeah. Now this is the second problem. We are white again, and yeah, this is simple enough. We can just win a piece, and yeah, we just want a piece there. Now we're looking at our third problem now, and again we're white. We seem to be white a lot so far today. And I think, yeah, I think checkmate after that is sort of tough to stop. Now, the problem here is that we are in check, and this is, I think, the first problem as black. So we're in check here, and a bishop on c5 is under attack. So is there any way to prevent the check and save a bishop? And the answer is yes. There is knight to e6. So that was. Now the next problem is, I think, a relatively simple one. We can just take that pawn, but do we take that pawn with our pawn, or do we take it with our knight? I mean, with our rook. And I'm inclined to. I mean, I initially wanted to take it with our rook, but now I think it's better to take with our own pawn. Actually, it's not. I think this is. I'm having a hard time working it out. So let's work out the pawn line. Okay, so suppose pawn takes, and then the queen captures on f6. So we just exchange pawns. And in the rook line, suppose if rook takes, then rook takes. And yeah, I think rook takes is probably the way to go because we don't lose a pawn that way. Now we are white in this one, and we have two pawns and a bishop for a rook. So the problem here, of course, is that our bishop is attacked twice, and it is also in a pin because of the king and cannot move. So I think rook to e3 just seems to be the most obvious solution. Unless there's something, yeah, I think let's play rook to e3. Now we're white, and yeah, I think we can just take this bishop. Okay, I didn't fully understand the problem. I think he captures. Okay, I mean, I didn't honestly pay attention, but okay, that is the first problem we've got wrong during the stream. So so we're black here, and I am thinking, yeah, that is the solution. Now we're once again white. Material is pretty equal here. Yeah, I mean, the solution is to win this bishop. We simply check here, and now we can win this bishop. But do we take with the queen or do we take with the rook? I think it's better to take with the queen. Yeah. And this is simple enough. Yeah, this is actually a little complicated. What are the options? Yeah, let's just do that. Yeah. That takes care of that problem. Now, of course, in the chess world, there's big talk about Alpha Zero. I think the latest. I wouldn't even call it a computer. Let's call it AI, artificial intelligence. To as I have understood the news, is that it's basically an AI that was just taught the rules of chess, but not given too much more advanced knowledge beyond that. And in 4 hours, it worked out how to defeat Stockfish, which is the strongest chess engine in the world. Although I have read conflicting reports on how good Stockfish was. There are some reports that suggest that Stockfish was perhaps not playing at its full potential. There were some hardware issues and all that. But even so, an AI that taught itself how to play chess, taking out the strongest computer in the world in just 4 hours is pretty insane, no matter how you look at it. Right, so anyway, this problem is a problem of checkmate. No, hold on. Not a problem of checkmate, I mean winning the rook. Now I think. Oh, knight takes. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I did all that only to sort of falter at the last hurdle there. But yeah, anyway, this AlphaGo stories are very, very dramatic and very interesting to read about. So, anyway, now we're looking at a problem with white. I think that is the solution. The idea here was that the pressure was building up on the c2 pawn. So we had to block the check in a way that supports the c2 pawn. And I think if we go with this continuation, then yeah, the bishop is now just going to drop, so it's obviously better for white. I think we've got 2 wrong so far, and I think 11 right. Um, yeah, I'm thinking let's do that. Yeah, checkmate is good. So, on to the next problem. I think I can't think of anything in this problem besides retreating the rook. Okay, now I fully see the dynamic of the situation. Our bishop is attacking our opponent's rook, so we can simply win this piece. So I think we can take with the pawn here, or we can take with the knight. I think that is what this problem is about. We have to decide which is the better option, and I'm inclined to think that the knight is perhaps the best choice because it can next jump to f2 attacking both of white's rooks. So yeah. Okay. Again, the okay. This one is very tricky actually because okay, this is actually a very tricky situation for black because the one obvious save is with the knight jumping to c6, but then the other knight is in problem because after knight to c6, bishop captures or maybe even queen captures, and white will simply win a piece. So the problem is to save both our knights, and I don't see how I can do that. Okay, I do see finally how I can do all three things. I can save this knight, I can save the knight on d5, and I can block the check, and that is the move c6. So that was a very good problem. I enjoyed solving that one. Okay, so next problem is basically let's just win his bishop. Okay, now hold on. We can't win his bishop. Yeah, we can win his bishop. And yeah. So that was the problem. And yeah, on to the next problem now. The first move, I mean, this is obviously very tricky because there are three ways in which we can capture this rook. The first is obviously king captures, queen captures, and the bishop captures. And which of those three is the best is what we have to decide. And I'm first thing instinctively that I'm doing is I'm ruling out queen captures because the queen is so close here to being in a very threatening position, and to then withdraw the queen all the way back, it just releases all the tension. And then secondly, there is, suppose queen were to capture, then there is the move rook to f1 which just wins the queen and wins the game. So yeah, I can rule out queen captures. Then there's king captures, but king captures leads to again the rook check. And then king on g2 seems, I must say, relatively safe. Or there's the bishop captures, which prevents checks and we can get on with our attacking. So I'm inclined to go with bishop captures. And yeah, it's, I mean, when you can avoid getting checked in such a crucial position where you're so far advanced, I think it is better to, go for a line which avoids the check. So yeah, this is the next problem. And there are obviously some. Actually, there are lots of complications, but I'm not sure exactly where to start. I think this problem is a little too complicated with everyone, with like every with a lot of things attacked and a lot of things hanging. First thing I'm looking at is if there's a good knight jump, which there isn't. This bishop is very important because it supports the pawn on a5, and that pawn is very important. If that pawn were to fall, then that could lead to some issues in black's position. I'm trying to see if I can open up any back rank issues, like maybe this queen captures, the rook captures, and the bishop is blocking the way. Otherwise, there would be a back rank checkmate. So, queen captures, rook captures. What can I do with this bishop? How can I? And actually, just one more thing. This bishop defends the c1 square. So even if the rook lands, there would not be a back rank checkmate. I think the best move in this position, I could be wrong. I think the best move in this position is to play bishop to b4. Okay, bishop captures on e5. But does that really give us that much of an advantage? Okay, that is a long complicated line where eventually you have equality after 10 moves, I think. But yeah, anyway, why didn't I play bishop? Because I think bishop here was important. I thought bishop being anchored to the pawn was important, which is why I didn't consider bishop captures there. But anyway, next problem. I think next problem is one I definitely see a way to win an exchange. Yeah, let's just play knight 2. Yeah, knight there. But the response most definitely surprised me. Okay, let's just do that. I had expected the computer to respond with a different move, but perhaps that is the best move in that situation. So yeah, so now we're looking at the next problem, and I'm trying to see why queen captures the knight on b4 is not a good move. Okay, I do see why that is not a good move. What about knight captures? Knight captures, rook captures. Yeah, knight captures bishop is the move. And the reason in this position why, I mean, we've already solved it, but this seems tempting. But then after bishop moves to f1, you have to move your king somewhere, and then you lose your queen. I think in this end game, I can obviously play king to h7, but that loses the pawn on f7. So I think blocking with the queen is the best way. And again, this is the problem of whether to capture with the queen or to capture with the pawn. So suppose we were to capture with the pawn. Suppose we were to capture with the pawn, the knight is attacked. The knight obviously moves somewhere. And the alternative is we attack with the queen. And yeah, I don't see which is so definitively the better move. The one drawback of this queen was a potential knight jump somewhere, but even if queen captures, the knight jumping to e2 is covered by the bishop, otherwise the knight would attack the king and the rook. But the bishop protects that jump. I think I'll take with the queen because I don't like the idea of disturbing the central pawn. Although the central pawn is isolated and it could, if it comes to the d file, it could eventually be a part of a pawn chain, which it won't be presently being isolated from the g pawn. So for that reason alone, I'm going to capture with the pawn, and okay, that's a good move apparently. That's the solution. I was almost very close to capturing with the queen, just realized the pawn chain thing. Okay, this is king there, rook captures, pawn captures. Yeah, I think that seems to work out, yeah. Now this is a tricky problem. We're about to deliver checkmate on g2, but the queen here is threatening our knight and is threatening to exchange queens and thus put an end to all those threats that black has. And simply declining a queen exchange is possible. One could play queen to f6 or maybe even g5, and it would decline the queen exchange and continue to support the knight and keep the threat of the checkmate alive. But is that really the best choice? I mean, is there anything else we can do? Okay, actually, I just realized the knight has defense from the rook on f8, so we can just move a queen somewhere without worrying about the defense of the knight. Does that somehow help? One more option that I'm just looking at is knight to h3. The bishop cannot capture because it is pinned. King will have to move. King to f1, king to h1. If king to h1, then we have knight captures with check. Knight captures the pawn with check, so the king has to move to f1. So knight here, king to f1, rook goes there, check. Yeah, in fact, the more I look at this line, even though I've not seen the line in its entirety, this seems to be the best way to go about it. And yeah. Okay, this is very tricky. The bishop cannot realistically move from this position, because if bishop were to go to, I mean, let's say e5, then a7, a8 just wins. So we have to look at a solution that is better than that. In fact, that is much better than that. And we have a viewer, Mr. Arnaud Victor Durian, who says he likes fruit, which is, well, great. We should all eat some fruit from time to time. Fruits are good and healthy for us. Fruits, like apples and bananas. Not any other fruits. Anyway, this problem is very tricky. I mean, I don't know what to do in this problem. King here and the pawn can just run. What is the alternative? Push our pawn. c4, f6, c3, f7, c2 promotes, and then c1 we promote with check. I think that is the solution. Yeah, now we have the first check, so yeah. That was that was a good problem. Now our next problem, we are white, and I think king to e3 is forced here. No? d7. Yeah, we promote with check. Yeah, I missed that. Next we're looking at this problem where we are black. Our knight is under attack. I think this is a weird endgame. I mean, just at first glance, I would not be too comfortable about this endgame playing as black, because two bishops against two knights with pawns on both sides of the board. This is not particularly, I mean, just at first glance, not the most ideal endgame for black. Anyway, I think this move is sort of forced and there's not much to think about. And I think this problem is about the rook to g4 check and then a potential knight jump to f3, attacking the rook and wherever the king runs off to. So let's see. Or is it? I mean, I don't think it works. Okay, I see what the problem is about now. We just take the bishop and fork. Yeah. Knights are good for forking players. If there's anything knights are good for, it is for forking players. So we have an uneven, potentially losing endgame where we're playing a rook against a knight and our rook has gotten to our advanced pawn. So what to do in this position? And the king and the rook are so far apart that there isn't a knight jump, and even if a knight would jump were possible, then the king and the rook are on dark squares, and with her knight on a dark square, on a light square, there is no way that the knight can move and attack the king or the rook. So this problem is definitely slightly tough to get the hang of. I'm not sure what I have to do in this position. I'm thinking king captures the pawn, rook captures the pawn. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Maybe d4, c captures on d4, knight captures on d4, rook captures on a3. Yeah, I don't understand this problem, what it is that I'm required to do. But then again, this is an endgame problem, and it's not surprising. I'm terrible at endgames. I just don't understand how endgames work. Okay, so suppose d4, then c captures on d4, knight captures on d4, and then f7, and he's just going to promote. I think I'll just capture this pawn. Yeah, that seemed like... Okay, that is the solution. Let's just move on. Our rook seems sort of trapped. I think we need to withdraw our rook somewhere in... I can't decide whether to withdraw the rook to h6 or h7 or h8. could withdraw the rook to h5, but h5 just looks silly. Let's withdraw the rook to h7. Okay. Rook captures on g2 check. I mean, I considered it for a very fleeting second. I didn't see what it achieved. I did not see any follow up to that. Oh, hold on. His rooks were not defended. I mean, I don't know how, but it just never entered, you know. I just never realized that I could just take his rook. Okay, that was okay. So this is the position. It's actually a shame that his king is not on d1, because then bishop to g4 would have been a killer move. But I think the solution is simple enough. We just win the bishop after this. So yeah. Yeah, I think this problem is simple enough. Bishop to b6 is a killer. And, well, I'm not sure he had to give up his queen there. I mean, he could have still played this move. I think that, I mean, losing a rook is still better than losing a queen, I guess. Yeah, I do not understand why the computer chose to give up the queen there. I mean, apologies, apologies about the slight disconnection in the stream, but I believe the stream is back on. It was off for just about a few seconds. Yeah, anyway, I was saying that queen to f1 is checkmate. Apart from the fact that this knight prevents queen to f1 checkmate. So I'm looking at ways to get rid of the knight from that square. So I was thinking of f4 captures. And then knight to f5, which will force the rook to capture and then recapture the pawn. Is that the solution? That I don't actually checkmate, I just win an exchange? Is that? Is that what the problem is about? Because anything else just doesn't seem to work. Yeah, queen to f1 is made. The only thing preventing that is the knight on e3, so get rid of the knight. That seems to work. But if I can't get rid of that knight, then at least I will win in exchange. Is that what this problem is geared towards? I can't think of anything else. I mean, there's queen to d3 check. But what does that achieve? Queen takes, pawn takes, king takes pawn. I'm down a pawn on that. I mean, I didn't achieve anything. Okay, hold on. I was thinking of the line rook to c1 and then rook to c2, but then again, this knight will capture on c2. That other line looked very interesting for a while. So yeah, I guess this is the way to go now. Okay, going to e1 check. Oh, yeah, I did not see this solution at all, but this was a very good problem. I enjoyed that problem. Yeah, I think this problem should be simple enough. I mean, no, okay, a4 check. Yeah, okay, this is obviously simpler than what I was thinking. I was thinking that even if I exchange, this is still a winning endgame. What with this two passed pawns? And yeah, but obviously what the computer line did there was far better. So let's look at the next problem. This is simple enough. I mean, we have to move the king, and if we move the king anywhere besides f8, we will lose our knight. So f8 is the only answer. Where if he takes a knight, we take his knight, and again, okay. Actually, I'm surprised in this position the computer chose to take. I mean, the computer should just run. Because after this, it's given me access to the open file. In fact, after this, I'll play this move and I win back my pawn. So, yeah, anyway, let's move on. I mean, this knight is attacking a queen. And we have to move somewhere, but Where do we move? Oh, we don't have to move anywhere. We can just capture it. And now we can capture that rook because the pawn was pinned to the rook. So yeah, no, okay. Oops, sorry, I didn't see what the solution was. Oh shit. Yeah, I think taking this knight is okay. Knight captures d5. Oh, that was so stupid of me. Obviously, that is the answer. But anyway, I think my attention is sort of going haywire. So what I'll do is I'll do just five more problems after this, and then I'll call it a night. So this is the first of the last five problems. We're black here. I think the solution is to not take. Because if he captures, we capture with a pawn, we get a good passer going. But if we don't take, then what do we play? We have to play something. We can't just. If we don't take, then what do we play? Anyway, I've just tuned into Arsenal taking on FC Bate. And the game just started. The Emirates looks empty in this one. Hardly anyone in attendance. And here I am up at 1:30 watching the game on TV. So yeah, anyway, I think not taking is probably a good decision, but we can't just pass. We have to play. So what do we play? Or is there another move entirely? Yeah. What if bishop captures? Sorry, what if rook captures bishop? Pawn captures could be even rook captures. It gives me nothing. So, I mean, weirdly enough, I know what not to play, but what to play is tricky. Okay, Lenny's just at the post. Yeah, okay. Okay, I spent almost 3 minutes on this. So I'm gonna make a move. And the move that I'm gonna make is that, which is obviously. Oh, I mean, the solution was so simple. Well, now I can take. So, as I was saying, I have. My concentration is gone a little bit. Okay, Only option, two things you have to consider here: whether to recapture with the knight or whether to recapture with our rook. And I'm gonna say that I'm gonna recapture with the knight for. I mean, it's not any particularly great reason, other than the fact that knight will come back into the game. It's pretty isolated, sitting on the sidelines with nowhere to go. So let's just capture with the knight. Yeah, and of course the other problem was that if I'd captured the rook, then obviously I'd have lost this rook. So yeah, we made that choice. So, but I mean, even in that correct decision, yeah, you could see that I was not fully focused. Yeah, I'm guessing rook captures, king captures, and then some knight jump somewhere. Yeah, that's a suicidal plan by the looks of it. What about knight to c2? Knight to c2, rook to b1, attacking the b5 pawn, and what? Nothing. Yeah, I'm sure this is a simple problem, just that I'm not focused on it at all. Okay, knight to c4. There's a million places, literally a million places that the bishop could go to. Yeah, so I don't spot the move here, to be honest. I don't see a move that definitely is the best. Or, I mean, it's clearly better than all the other moves. I'm gonna go for this move. Yeah, knight to c4. Just, I mean, it seemed the best move. Just, gains the tempo on the bishop. So that's three problems done. We've got one right and two wrong. There's something about the move queen to h4 that just leapt out. I mean, that just had to be the move, you know. So this is the last problem for the session. Knight to e8 is the only move that I could see there. Okay, that was strange because somehow that just never occurred to me. to play D captures on E5. It was very strange. I mean, I don't see why. I mean, this problem also has a higher rating. This is one of the most highest rated problems that I have done, I think. Although in today's session, I've not really been keeping track of the problems and how tough they are. But I mean, there's a simple solution. I mean, I don't see why. I just never spotted it. Well, anyway, that was the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Um, I will try and tune in to do more tactics sometime soon. I think, if I remember correctly, when I had started this session today, we had 121 correct and 62 incorrect, I think. So we got 9 wrong and we got 34 right, I think. So, in fact, let's just do a few more. I mean, there's no limit on when I'll stop. Um, I'll just stop. And again, the solution to this problem, just, what else was there to do? Obviously, queen to a4 is very tempting, but doesn't work because there's knight to c6, which blocks the check and saves the knight. Oh, I see what the answer is. The answer is simply to play e5, and the queen cannot capture, because if queen captures, then rook to e1 just wins the game. So black will have to lose the knight there. So yeah, that was a good problem. It's rated 1383.6, which is 1383.6 is pretty high, I think. So, oh, in fact, Arsenal have scored, and I'll just get back to the problem as soon as I see this replay. Um, if I'm not mistaken, Matthew Debussy has scored, which is one for the record books. Debussy, who couldn't make the team for years and years, and Matthew Debussy just hammers it in. Incredible. So, right, we have this problem. I think this problem is one of the rare problems where the problem is not what not to take. The problem is, the problem isn't what to play. The problem is what not to play, because capturing this pawn seems very tempting on g2. Capturing this bishop seems very tempting. I'll just go capture the bishop. Yeah, that's the problem. So I will just yeah, let's just end the session there. I think I got 37 right and 9 wrong, which is okay, not bad. So an interesting day for chess today, because of AlphaZero completely destroying Stockfish, and the stories of AlphaZero are as they emerge slowly, they're quite extraordinary. And as I just quickly sneak a peek at the TV. So yeah, I mean, I was very impressed with what AlphaZero has done, and I was discussing with a friend just yesterday that AI is really coming up big, and AI will be even bigger soon. And I just wonder. Obviously, there are a wide-ranging, I mean, areas that AI will influence. But if I think of it purely from chess point of view, I was wondering what all we could discover, because there's actually I've read a lot about people wondering if chess will be solved, and I think with AI we may just discover that chess won't be solved, because people fear that as engines grow stronger and stronger, they will solve chess. I think as engines go stronger and stronger, we may find that chess is not actually solvable because, so far, whatever line Stockfish played, we used to treat that as the gospel, and we used to say that, oh, Stockfish plays this line, this is the way to go. Any other way of playing loses. But then Alpha Zero comes along, and for that seeming solution of Stockfish, it presents a counter solution which takes us away from a uniform solution and towards a territory where another approach is working and working successfully against the so-called solution approach that existed earlier. So I think as computers develop, we may actually find that chess is not solvable at all. They, far from solving chess, they will actually show us just how unsolvable chess is, because there are so many lines and so many variations, and for every variation that you may enter, there may be another set of variations that counter that. So I think the biggest impact of Alpha Zero is that it has, far from taking us towards the solution, it has taken us away from the route that we were previously on. And on that previous route, we thought that we'd find a solution to chess, but we are on a completely different path now, and the solution is nowhere near. So I think that was incredible. And yeah, I look forward to Alpha Zero playing more matches, and of course, I'll try and do more tactics whenever it's possible. And of course, the London Chess Classic is going on. Fabiano Caruana has been doing very well. The only guy who has won any games at all, and he's won 2 games, so he's almost a shoe in for the London Chess Classic Championship, and is getting in form right on time just before the candidates. So that's good. I mean, if because I had honestly, genuinely, as a chess observer, I'm not really much of a chess player. I mean, I don't have a lot of skill when it comes to chess, but as somebody who follows the chess scene as a chess observer, I had felt that the candidates tournament this time was really weak, because I felt if Levon was in form, then Levon was the only one who could challenge who could have challenged Magnus Carlsen for the title. But now that Fabiano Caruana is showing some good form, then I think Fabi, if he's on top form, then Fabiano Caruana could have, challenged Magnus Carlsen. I mean, if Fabi's on form, Magnus, he can challenge Magnus and give him a good run for his money. So it's good that Fabi is coming into form. And of course, I'll do a next new stream whenever possible. So thank you for watching. Bye.